I froze the joint account my brother treats as his own, so the account isn't actually his. That's the part he keeps forgetting. When our grandma passed 2 years ago, she left money split between me and my brother Marcus, but because he was 19 and I was barely 17 at the time, the lawyer set it up as a joint account with both our names until I turned 18. Marcus is the older one, so somewhere in his head that made it his money with my name attached for decorating. And for 2 years, I've watched the balance go down while I never touched a dollar of it. At first, it was small stuff, a tank of gas, a dinner. He'd say, "I'll put it back next week," and I was younger and didn't want to be the difficult sister, so I let it slide. Then it was his car insurance, then a loan to his buddy that never came back. Every time I brought it up, he had the same tone, like I was being dramatic over nothing. "It's family money, relax. You act like I'm robbing you." The thing is, half of it was supposed to be mine. Grandma was specific about that. She wrote it out. Marcus just decided the writing didn't apply to him. The last straw was in March. I was saving for a deposit on an apartment with my friend, and I logged in to check my half, because in my head I still had a half. The balance was almost gone. He'd taken out $3,000 for a business opportunity with the same friend who never paid back the first loan. I called him. "Where's the money, Marcus? I'm flipping it. You'll thank me. I'm gonna double it. That was for my deposit. I told you about the apartment, so find a cheaper place." God, you're so entitled about this. Entitled. About my own inheritance. I actually laughed. Here's what he didn't know. Because it was a joint account, I didn't need his permission for anything. Both names, equal access. He'd been operating for 2 years like he was the account holder and I was a guest, but the bank saw 2 owners, so I called them. I asked what my options were if a co-owner was making withdrawals I didn't agree to. The woman was so calm about it. She said any joint owner could place a freeze on the account, and that once frozen, no withdrawals or transfers could go through from either party until both owners came in together to lift it. I asked her to freeze it that afternoon. I didn't tell him. I want to be honest about that. I could have warned him and I chose not to, because every time I'd warned him before he'd talked over me. So I let him find out the way he'd let me find out the balance. He found out on a Thursday. He tried to move the last of it to his friend, and it bounced. My phone lit up. "What did you do to the account? It's locked." I froze it. "You can't just do that. It's my account. It has both our names. That's what joint means." I froze my account too. "We can both go to the bank and unfreeze it whenever you want." Silence. Then, quieter. "Fine, let's go tomorrow." He thought I'd fold at the branch. He walked in there smiling at the teller, ready to charm his way back to full control. What he didn't expect was that lifting the freeze meant both owners agreeing to the terms, and I'd already told the banker exactly what my terms were. I sat down and slid my grandma's letter across the desk, the one where she wrote out the split. "I'll unfreeze it," I said, "the day it's converted into 2 separate accounts, my half in mine, his half in his. Then he can do whatever he wants with his, and I never have to look at it again." Marcus's face went from smug to something else. "You're really doing this? Over money? You did this over money. For 2 years. I'm just the one saying it out loud." The banker asked him if he agreed to the split. He looked at me, looked at the letter with his own grandma's handwriting on it, and there was nothing to argue. Every word he'd used on me, entitled, dramatic, family money, none of it worked in a room with a paper trail. He signed. His hands were tight the whole time. When we walked out, he said, "I can't believe you'd do this to your own brother." I said, "I didn't do anything to you. I just stopped doing it to myself." The $3,000 he invested never doubled. It never came back at all. But that's his half now. His loss to sit with. He hasn't asked me for a dollar since.